Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to the 51st episode, 51 episode of TechBiz, brought to you by Eco Innovation Center. Eco Innovation Center is set up as an accelerator that focuses on supporting, handholding, and helping companies who use innovation and technology as the main thrust of their business to commercialize. So our mantra is from concept to commercialization. TechBiz happens to be one of the platforms employed by Eco Innovation Center to bring value to the ecosystem, where every Thursday between the hours of 5 to 6 p.m., we bring in experts in different fields and different areas of innovation, technology, and the business of technology. And what they will do for us in 1 hour is to share with us proven success tips and skills and ideas and stories that can improve or better equip the players and the stakeholders in the technology ecosystem. Today is Thursday again. It is 5 p.m. and I'm glad that you are part of TechBiz series for today. My name remains Victor Benga-Folabi, the founder of Eco Innovation Center. In the last 50 episodes, we have gone around quite a number of topics in TechBiz. We have talked about valuations of your company. We've talked about investment readiness. We've been able to talk about business model canvas and how to position your business to control value. We have looked at strategic management. We've looked at human resource issues around running a technology business. We have even looked about the issues of intellectual properties and patency. And of course, we've also looked at issues around ideation, innovation, and of course, we discussed also marketing and branding of your business. And of course, today, we are delighted to also be bringing to you another very important topic in growing our technology business, another very important pillar of driving success in any business that uses innovation and technology. All that we have presented to you in the last 50 episodes, you can still find on our website, and all you have to do so that you can spend more time to digest this and see the flow and see how they all connect. All you have to do is go to our website, www.ecoicenter.com/webinar. And once you get in there, of course, I'm sure they will have thrown it in the, my colleagues will have dropped that in the chat box. When you follow, you can be able to see all the 50 episodes of TechBiz series that has been brought to you by Eco Innovation Center. Learning happens to be one of the pillars in which we bring in value. And we think that it will be exciting for you to spend as much time as you earn getting all this knowledge, asking questions, interacting, and making sure you draw as much value from this platform as possible. So today is another day of data, and I can promise you this is an exciting one because one, you're talking about data. Data is the next oil, is the future of so many things, and understanding data is implication, is visualization, and understanding basically what data is telling us, the story behind the data, is a critical skill set and a critical part of what an entrepreneur in the technology space should understand. And today, our topic will be business analytics, decision making using data. Business analytics is the analytics behind your business, decision making using data. And we're trying to bring in an expert today who is a data engineer and data scientist, and he will be doing justice to helping us understand how you can use data for decision making in your business. And the professional that we have today has been a data scientist and analyst for over 7 years. He's somebody I've known closely in the last 4 to 5 years. And I can say clearly, he's a very much sought after data scientist, and he has tremendous experience running and organizing and managing significant data for FMCGs and for several different companies. He was part of the team that worked around the largest social investment scheme in Africa, organized by the federal government and back of industry. He was a critical resource person that processed the millions of data that was gathered and the millions of data that was interpreted for decision making. So he not only has the theoretical knowledge, he has significant on-field experience around how data is used and how data can be analyzed for decision making. He's highly competent in modeling of consumer data with business intelligence tools and for long-term business insights and building performance dashboards across business operations. So you're taking that information, you're building dashboards, you're using it to optimize your business. He's a much sought after expert on that. And we think that this is a very necessary element to bring to bear to the people we support in the ecosystem. He's a big data scientist, like I said. He's a project manager, and like I said, he's worked on projects both in the private public sector, and he's done both sub-regional and national scale projects. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as you join me this evening to welcome the panelists and our guest for today, Mr. Rashid Abdulkarim, to take us through the topic of business analytics, decision-making using data. Rashid, you are welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. I really appreciate your speech, and I think you've done a lot of justification to some of the things that we need to discuss today. So I would say very thanks to everyone on this program. I think this is a very good opportunity for me to share some of this knowledge around data and what you can actually get in terms of decision making around data. So I would be sharing my slide very soon. But before that, I would first of all discuss something around what exactly it's data. So when you're talking about data, what exactly are you talking about? So sorry, let me put on my video so that everybody can see me. Yeah, I think it's good. Thanks. So when you're talking about data, you're talking about the facts and the numbers, and at times you're talking about the qualitative aspect of data. And for me, whether you're talking about the qualitative aspect of data or the quantitative aspect of data, all this can be used to make decisions. So before I'll present my slide, let me look at something. Just give me a minute. Sorry, can everybody see my slide? Let me put it on slideshow. Sorry, can we see the slide? Okay. Okay, good. So I was talking about what exactly it's data. So while you're looking at data, so you want to look at what exactly, why is data the whole talk about, the whole talk around the world now? Why are people talking about data? So the first thing first is you don't, when you continue to exist, you always have data flying around. So it's only when human being stop existing, that's when you don't have data anymore. So and over time, we've seen a lot around migrating from just some low volumes of data to what we call a big data, and you now have what you call the big data analytics. And then when you look at data and you are translating what data is giving you to optimize your business, to improve your business, then you come about what we call business analytics. So business analytics, data engineering, data science, machine learning, and all of these comes together to shape what the business is supposed to look like in the current dispensation. So over time, we've seen a lot of traditional way of aggregating data and analyzing data. But today, you're talking about big data. You're talking about millions of data. We'll have like up to 500 millions of data that comes on Twitterverse every day, the Twitter database every day. And you look at this data, how you process them, and how you can actually help use this data to make a decision. So we'll just look at what exactly are the points that you can look at when it comes to business analytics and how to use data to make this. And we're going to look at some case study of how some of the big companies out there are using some tools on Google Cloud Platform to improve their business and to optimize their operations. So I don't know if everybody see my slide.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good, good. Mr. Victor has really talked about who Rashid is. So Rashid Karim is just a professional data scientist, and I've been working around data over 9 years now, and 7 years in the corporate environment, and I've been head of sales and data analytics over time in the FMCG industry. And basically, big data scientist. I manage projects and FMCG expert. So what exactly do we want to talk about? So what exactly is data-driven decision making? And we'll look at 4 types of data analytics that drive decision making. Yeah, the 4 V's of big data and decision making, how to make data-driven decision, the decision making process, and the benefit of data-driven decision making. So we'll look at all of these in the slide. But before I move to these, there's something that comes to your mind. You want to use data to make decisions. The first thing that comes to your mind is, what kind of data do I need? How do I process the data? And how do I use the data set to make decisions? So we'll take ourselves through all of this, and then we'll come back to some case study to look at how some big companies have used data with some tools, to make a decision in their company. So what exactly is data-driven decision making? It's just the process of making organization decision based on actual data rather than intuition and observations alone. I'll just give you an example. If you come basically to let's use Lagos as an example, as a very good example. If you come to Lagos and you want to know why do someone close a third mainland bridge on a particular day and say, okay, we want to repair the third mainland bridge. It means that there's some certain level of information someone have gathered over time to know that exactly at a point in time there should be something to check on third mainland bridge, and there should be something to look at in order to repair, not to cause a lot of issues or a lot of damages. Now, if you look at this, there's some data that comes on daily basis to Lagos State on the number of cars that runs on Third Mainland Bridge every day. And when Third Mainland Bridge was built, there's some certain level of strength capacity tests they've done on Third Mainland Bridge to know that, okay, if this number of cars passes on Third Mainland Bridge for 1 month, what would be the effect on that bridge? So that is construction, for instance. And at a point in time when you gather this data, you would want to know, have we been able to do something that would sustain this bridge to last longer for the number of cars that passes through it? So when you get this data, it's better than you just saying, today, we'll have 5 million cars that passes on Third Mainland because we think, when you stand at the edge of let's say Obalende, or you stand at the edge of, let's say, you just want to look at the cars that passes and all of that. If you don't have data, if you don't have the data of all of these cars, and also the kind of cars that passes through Third Mainland Bridge on daily basis, you won't be able to make decisions. And it is a massive culture change, not an activity change. So decision making using data creates hypotheses. So in the real sense, while you want to, I will give you a very good example. In the health sector, or let me say in the pharmaceutical sector, there's something we used to do when we're in the university. When you want to produce a new drug, or probably you create a new drug, you want to see if the new drug actually helps solve a problem. And that's what we call a clinical test. So the clinical test are always being used to see if the drug, the new products, or let me say the new drugs would help solve the problem. And a very good example is just the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, over time, you would say that the doctors and the pharmacists comes together and looked at, okay, if these are the symptoms of this COVID disease, can we look at all the data of people that have been contacted? What are the symptoms? What time does it take for someone to actually get the virus and survive? And what time does it take someone to die? How many people have died? How many people have survived? So they look at all these data, getting all these data over time, prepare a drug, put some people on test to see if this drug can actually take effect on this COVID-19. And at the end of the day, we're seeing some of the drugs that actually have 98% effectiveness, 97% effectiveness, 96% effectiveness. At the stage when you are, trying to prepare the drug, you are carrying out a hypothesis. You want to see, does this drug, if I prepare this and this together, does this take effect on this COVID-19? At the end of the day, when you test your hypothesis, you then realize what exactly is the percentage effectiveness of this drug when you place it on the people that have been contacted with COVID-19, and you have some experimental and placebo group and all of that. So all of these put together are what helps people to make a decision, and it brings justification for greater accomplishment. So it's not just about I want to plant something, or I want to build something, or I want to create something. It's about you putting data together, create an hypothesis, test the hypothesis with your data, and then you can see what exactly it looks like in terms of confidence interval. So that's all about what's so 4 types of data analytics. So I know a lot of people who have advantages of probably getting into the of knowing something about data. Will have a clue around what exactly we're talking about here. So we'll have prescriptive, predictive, diagnostic, and descriptive. So in a very simple language, if I tell you that in a room we'll have 3 men and 5 boys. Let's take it like this. If we have 3 men and 4 women, it means that I'm actually describing to you what exactly it's in a room. Let's say we'll have a closed room and we'll have human beings in the room. And I'm telling you, we'll have 3 men and 4 women in the room. So what I'm trying to do is I'm telling you, I'm describing what is in the room to you. So it's basically a report that is accurate and a live data, and then a visualization that shows you a description. In the universities, the days we used to say a descriptive. We have 2 levels of statistics. We have the descriptive statistics and the inferential statistics. And when you're talking about the descriptive statistics, you're talking about just showing a table to analyze the data and all of that, calculating the central measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion, and all of that. And when it comes to inferential statistics, you're talking about the chi-square test, you're talking about the mean test, you're talking about the ANOVA, you're talking about the regression and correlation analysis and all of that. And those traditional statistics comes to bring out what we call machine learning and all of that today. So when you're talking about descriptive statistics in the real sense, and when you're talking about descriptive statistics, you are still talking about descriptive analytics. So descriptive analysis is just to throw the numbers out and to tell people just in a very simple visualization around what exactly is happening within a confined area. And when you're talking about diagnostic, the statistician will sit down and say, when you have a mean, most of us will always have the data and would say, oh, the data shows that the average age of marriage in the North is 19 years. And someone asks you, what exactly is the variance? What is the variance? What is your mean root square? And there are other statistics to actually put together to start checking and saying what exactly does your data looks like. And that comes to diagnostic analysis. And when it comes to being diagnosing a data or diagnosing a plan or a situation, it comes about why is this thing happening? Why do we have it happening? Even when you have your data, you want to know what are the root cause, what are the problems that we want to solve, and you want to see the ability to drill down to the root cause. What are the causes of this? And at the end of the day, if you look at COVID, for instance, many professionals looked at, the first thing that people looked at is what exactly is the root cause of this disease? Where is it coming from? There are a lot of stories coming from China. Okay, it was this, was a propaganda, and a lot of that. So you do a diagnostic analysis on planning, on your hypotheses, on your data, and all of that before you start doing analysis and creating a lot of information and sharing all of this information with the stakeholders. And also we have predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is basically you're forecasting for the future. You want to see, with the current data you have, can you create something? Can you create an algorithm? Can you create an equation? Can you create a regression line or a line of best fits that predicts the future? So for instance, let's take for instance, today, I'm not sure we've done any census from 2006. I think the last census we did in Nigeria was 2006. And there's something we did, we used to call a doubling time of a population. Demographers, who are the population analysts, can tell you the number of years it would take Nigeria to actually double itself. I think the last time we calculated, I think it was 49 years. So if Nigeria is 200 million today, so it will take Nigeria by the rate of growth, I think log 90 over growth rate or something like that. We use it to calculate the doubling time for Nigeria to double, the population of Nigeria to double itself. And the same thing goes to how you can actually extrapolate and forecast what the population of Nigeria will be in the next 4-5 years. So this is because you have a data or a census data that gives you an overview, and you have a growth rate fact or number that gives you the parameters to input into your formula to predict for the future. We have a work chart that shows the number of countries that will probably outgrow China population if the care is not taken. These are what we call predictive analytics. And when you go into investment, you go into GDP, you go into your day-to-day activities, you can always predict with the current data and predict what exactly the future will look like. And that is predictive analytics. And some of the statistical tools that we use in this sense, we use regression analysis, we use correlation analysis, we use different forms of logistic regression, multinomial regression. You use different predictive statistical tools to actually predict for the future. There's something called survival analysis as well. That's in the health sector. You do a survival analysis and look at how long does it take someone to actually die. If you place them on a certain drug or something, and you predict, if you place this drug on someone, this is the number of time it will take the person to actually survive the disease. And you have a prescriptive analytics. So prescriptive analytics is all about, what do I need to do? Recommended actions and strategies. So after you've actually tested your hypothesis and you want to look at what exactly do we need to do in terms of prescription. Okay, do we need to take a look at this data? Do we need to trade off? In data science, there's something we call trade-off. When you get your data and you see that, okay, this data is a very small sample. Most of the time when you have a very small sample, you have a very high variance. And when you have a larger sample, you have a better precision. So all of these are the things that you looked at when you are actually prescribing. So at times, when statistician or data analysts or data scientists want to actually prescribe based on the data you've analyzed, you've diagnosed, you've made predictions and all of that, you can actually give your prescription analytics that we can accept a certain result based on certain level of confidence interval. And that means that you are telling them that if you place this drug or you've placed this solution on someone, it means that we're giving it, maybe it could be 95% confidence interval, it could be 98%, it could be 99% confidence interval. So all of this together forms the value you are driving from a data. So it means that you're not just analyzing data. And most of the time when you analyze the data, you don't just push the insight to the audience. You have to give some of these caveats and some of these recommendations around what exactly the data is actually talking about. So we talked about what exactly for the 4 V's of the big data. The most important part of this for me, because I used to tell my people, the most important part of this for me is the velocity and the variety. At times it's not about you having a very large data set or having a very huge data set, a voluminous data set, or having, let's say, a 1 terabyte of data. You could have a 1 gigabyte of data, but the velocity and the variety of the data and where the data source sometimes gives you what exactly you talk about in terms of big data. Because most of the time, if you take, for instance, let's take a very good look at Twitter data. I used to analyze Twitter data for simple analytics and for media analytics and all of that, Facebook data and all that. So if you look at Twitter data, now at times when you run your maybe a Python code or something to actually get data from the Twitter API, and you get all of these data, you see how the data comes from different sources, and the rate at which this data comes to your system, or let's say to your storage, it's very fast. And for your computer to manage and all of that, and the number of data keep increasing within seconds, within minutes, and all of that, then it creates a lot of information, and the veracity of the data is very high, because you're getting data from India, you're getting data from Nigeria, you're getting data on a particular topic. So sometimes when you put all your search words to Twitter database, you get data from different sources, and you get a lot of conversation around a topic. And at the end of the day, you would be able to analyze lots of information from this data, and you would be able to tell more story about the data, and a lot of people will be able to make a decision around the data. And this is, for me, what actually makes a big data big data. Because when you say a big data, it's not just about maybe three data points and all of that. For Twitter alone, I think if you're using some certain Python code, and you have access to the Twitter API, you can have close to 141 data points at a time when you are streaming data from Twitter database. So all of these put together, and when you are streaming this data, it keeps coming per seconds, per minute, and it forms what we call the big data. And as time goes on, it becomes very large, that you need a more storage and all of that to manage the data set. Sorry. Okay. So source of data for decision making. So we just want to look at what exactly are different sources of data. So it could be an external source, and it could be an internal source of data. So sometimes you have data, a transactional data, maybe from your ERP or from your SAP engine you're using in your office, or one of the tools or one of the softwares you're using to aggregate numbers on a daily basis. So in the real sense, we have different ways to actually source for data. It could be a primary data or secondary data. Most of the time, for you to actually make a fast decision, most of the time people go for secondary data, because there are a lot of information people have gathered, and it's been archived somewhere. It's just for you to go there, probably using an API or something to connect to the data, or a data connector to connect to the data and start driving decision from the data. And also we have a primary data, we call it first-hand level of information. where you have people out there, gathering data for you, and they're collecting information from people or from different sources. And at the end of the day, you put the data together and you start making decisions from the data. And today, Facebook came in 2004, YouTube came in 2005, and you have massive data throwing into the internet. And I'm very sure in the last couple of 10 years, and the last 10 years, we've had a lot of massive data throwing around on the internet because human beings needs to engage and need to interact. And all of this data comes from some of our social media platform, from different websites, and different other internal sources. And all of this data aggregated together forms what we call the sources of the data for organization, for individuals, or for anybody who wants to use data to make a decision. And over time, we've seen a lot around people building chatbots, and the chatbots would actually engage consumers, profiling people and getting data to a data source, and you can get this data. And if you look at social media, for instance, you go to Twitter, you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, and you see a lot of interactions on this site. And you can see a lot around what people have built around data. I will share some of those. I will close my page now. I will share some of those analytics that I have done over time, and what I've been able to do aggregating data from different platforms. If you look at it, for instance, if you look at YouTube, for instance, there are times you go to YouTube and you see 14,000 comments, 15,000, 100,000 comments on just a single video on the YouTube. And I will show you some of the few analyses that I've gathered for different telcos companies, analyzed over time, to see what exactly are the points at which you can reel out information around what you have invested on and how you can see what the ROI is, the return on investment is on your investment on advertising and all of that. So gathering all of this data sometimes helps you see, one, to see if you have invested on something or if you're planning to invest on something, what are the information, what are the raw facts you can gather around data to actually take a better decision on your planning or what you want to execute. Yeah, so you can get data from the social media or different chatbots, it depends. You can get data from website analytics, internal data from human resources, from your ERP and all that software that you're using internally in your business. So how do you make a data-driven decision? So the first thing is to define your mission. Why am I actually planning to, what exactly do I want to do? What do you want to achieve? So, and I would give you an insight to that. So when I show you some of those analytics that I've done, and the next thing is you identify your data source. The next thing is you clean and organize your data. You perform a statistical analysis on your data and you draw conclusion. Yeah, I will stop this slide now and I will show you a very a screenshot of something that I've done in the past and to see what exactly it looks like in terms of data. I'll stop this slide now. I'll show you another slide. I'll show you a screenshot and explain to you what exactly this means and why you need to sit down and look at what exactly do you want and where do you go to get the data, and what exactly do you need to clean the data, organize the data, and perform statistical analysis. So just give me 1 minute, then I will show you something. Then we'll go back to this slide. So we'll have I'll just quickly throw us to the benefits of data-driven decision making. So what are the benefits of you using data before making decision, and why do you need data to make before making decision? And I think I've discussed that you don't just make decision based on mere speculations, maybe just on hypotheses, we used to say it as a statistician that when you run your hypothesis and you probably do a null and alternative hypothesis and you're accepting a null hypothesis, we always have something that says you're accepting, you're making a type 1 error, a type 2 error in statistical field. So if you don't have a good data, and one thing about using data to make decisions is about having data and knowing what exactly it takes to make decisions using data. So for instance, you're doing a predictive analytics and you have your mean square error has been very bogus, or an R square. There's something we call R square when you are making a predictive analysis. So the statistician will tell you that when you have a very high R square, it means that it's either your data is not right, or you are doing your data is overfitting, or your data is over predicting. I'll put it that way. So when you have a data that has a lot of similar information, while you are training your model, or you are training your equation to predict for the future, and you have a very high R square, or you have a very high mean square error, it tells you that there's something wrong with your data. And that's why it's very important while you are making a decision using data, it's very important you look at your data. And the benefits of you using data than just discussing or probably using a mere speculation, I think, or I feel this is what it's supposed to be. I think this is what we're supposed to do. At the end of the day, you realize that having data to actually guide some of those decisions matters. And one is valuable insights. If you don't have data, there's no way you can come about a valuable insight. And if you don't have those valuable insights, it doesn't allow you to create a lot around the kind of decision you want to make. And you cage yourself in terms of the number of decisions you can make around some certain activities or some certain execution you're planning in the pipeline. The second one is a continual growth. There's a company in US, and the company is actually into a real estate. I don't know if some of you know AirBnB, and this company did something very fantastic over time. The company knows that, okay, a lot of people, a lot of visitors comes to America, and a lot of people are looking just for a very small hotel, or a very cheap hotel, or a very inexpensive hotel that they can just, or an apartment to just stay for overnight, or probably just to have a session with someone or something. And these guys create a very small real estate that helps people to just to accommodate people over time. And it's not just a normal hotel where you go there to pay some more expensive amount of money for the room in the hotel and all of that. And Airbnb did something that helps people to just pay some little amount of money, and they get accommodated in some certain places. And you can just lease out your own room in the US to say, okay, for this night I have an apartment, and I put my my apartment on Airbnb, and I can easily get people who wants to get accommodated, or probably just to rest their head on the room and just stay overnight or something. At the end of the day, there are a lot of people who brings their houses or their apartment on this platform, and this over time allows Airbnb to get a lot of data around parameters and key factors that allows people to know what exactly the kind of room I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 2-bedroom apartment or something. And while they gather this data over time, they place all of this data on prices, and they create a model that tells you that if you are looking for a 2-room apartment that has, maybe it's a bungalow or something, or that has 1 restroom or 3 restroom, the system automatically gives you a pricing, a figure, or let me say a price that allows you to say, okay, this is the kind of room I need, and this is the price I have to cater for these the kind of apartment. So over time, these guys have gathered a lot of data, and they have prices they've actually put on all of this data to actually predict for anybody that comes on the platform that needs a certain kind of apartment, and the system can automatically generate prices, range of prices for this set of people, and they can pick on the go. And this improve the business, and it allows the Airbnb to create a lot of customers, satisfaction, and a lot of customer pool, and they can actually create a lot of milestone. It allows them to create a lot of milestone, grow continually, and they can raise some funds. So this data allows them to actually see what exactly the people wants to have, and the prices people are looking for, because when you go on the platform, you put the prices range you're looking for and the kind of, options you're looking for. And over time, when they gather all this data, they create something that allows them to create a very good prices or a range of prices around what people would want to, have. So it helps you to create continual growth, improve program outcomes. When you do, when you get when you execute the program, and at the end of the day you get data about the program, you get a positive aspect of the program you executed, and you get a negative feels of the program you executed. At the end of the day, you would be able to make a decision on the next program you want to do. And there's something we call optimizer in machine learning. When an optimizer is training on data, it used a lot of data sets to actually optimize the next training he wants to do and all of that. That's a lot around machine learning algorithm. You have Adams, you have SGD, and a lot of them, MP pros and all of that, MPS pros and all of that. So looking at this, you can get different feedbacks, which is just data around the programs, and you executed or something, and optimized operation. I'm going to show you a case study around how a company used data to optimize their operation and how it helps them improve their capacity. Prediction of future trends. I've talked about how you can use data that you've gathered over time. I spoke about how international organizations can use data of certain population at a point in time to actually predict what the population would look like in the future using the growth rates and other parameters, and then actionable insights. So when you're talking about actionable insights, these are insights that gives you a lot around decision making, and you can make insights that it calls for actions. It's not just want to do something. It calls for actions, and you make a better decision that is measurable, that you can quantify in terms of what you've been able to do over time. And that throws us to a very quick case study of companies that have used Google ML. So I would talk about machine learning and what exactly some companies have been able to do with machine learning. So you're looking at this company called Gojek. It's an Indonesian company in Jakarta, and what these guys have been able to do, and a very simple example of what these companies are doing. It's what you have for Uber, Bolt, and other transportation company in Nigeria. When you looked at the way people order for ride, and when you go somewhere, you want to go somewhere, you order for a ride, and while you're ordering for a ride, there's a system that sends a signal to all the riders within a location and tells them that, okay, there's someone somewhere who needs a ride at this location, and the first person that picks, talks to you, and if you're probably not going with a person, you cancel the ride, you reorder on the same location to another rider, and you get a new person. And all of this data over time allows this company called Gojek to actually see what exactly are the situation analysis of why someone rejects a ride. What are the situation analysis that helps someone to get a ride faster, or that helps the companies to make sure that demand at a point in time meets the supply at a point in time meets the demand of people who need a ride at a particular point in time. So this company, collaborate with Google, and they've been able to put all the data with Google BigQuery BI engine, and the BigQuery geographical engine, and with that they've been able to increase and optimize the efficiency of the riders and people who order for the rides at a point in time. And with that, it helps them to actually translate the information and the data they've been able to analyze within a location and what the decision is, and translate that to different other cities within Indonesia. And this guy have been able to become a unicorn, one of the few unicorns in South Asia within a short period of time. Yeah. Another company, it's I think this is Middle East, South Africa or something, is AirBnB. This is a company that's build a lot of drinks over time, and while they're building all these drinks, it takes them a longer time to create to check for some of those defected drinks. And with data over time, they've been able to increase applying data over time, using some of these machine learning tools. They've been able to increase the length of each filter runs by 40% to 50%. So using data over time, it allows company to actually optimize the process. And you can see some of the testimonials from some of those big firms, and and how they can scale through a lot of things by introducing some machine learning tools using data and all of that. So looking at all of these, data allows you to create a lot around capacity driven decision, and you're not just making decision, you are making actionable decision, and the right decision at a point in time, and you're not just making decision using mere speculations, and as the case may be. So I think the next will just be taking questions and
thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's been exciting and explosive. And if you leave Rashid, I'm sure I can keep vibrating about data for the next 2 hours with clear-cut case studies. Thank you so much. Again, this is TechBiz, brought to you by Eco Innovation Center, set up with the mantra from concept to commercialization. And that is the value we bring to companies that we accelerate in the center. And of course, TechBiz is one of the pillars in which we equip startups in the ecosystem and bring value to the ecosystem. I do hope that we're already dropping our questions, and Rashid is looking at the chat box to be able to pick 1 or 2 questions. I think it's been a very exciting one. Data is the new oil, is the future. And if there's anything you need to take away from this, it's those 4-6 key things you can see from it. Valuable insights from data. It allows you to be able to, those are the benefits of data. Continued growth, informed outcomes, optimized operations, prediction of future trends, and actionable insights. I think those are those critical 7 pillars of benefits of taking decisions through data, using data to drive decisions that we make. And I think it's a fantastic one. Rashid, I'm not sure if you've seen any of the questions you'd like to quickly answer or respond to in the chat box. Meanwhile, let's keep sending the questions in. If you have anything you would like, Rashid,
I'm checking the chat box now.
Okay. Any question from there you want to respond to, Rashid?
Okay, I can see a question now. Does every startup business needs data analytics? That's a very good question. For me, for you to start a business, before you start a business, you need some raw facts about the business, because there's nothing you want to do on the surface of the earth that some people have not done over time, and you need to get data around what exactly is the valuation, is the forecast, and what exactly the business pipeline looks like, and what are the competition, what are the threats, what are the opportunities. All of these requests you getting data and facts that allows you to make decision on how you can improve on that line of business when you want to start the business. So for me, for every startup, you would need some data analytics that guides the process of how you can do your own business better than people who have been in the business.
Oh, Rashid, I mean, there's another question I find very exciting. I'm aware there is no institution today in the country that is certified to train data scientists and all that. And I see quite a number of people saying, oh, how can I go through the journey to become a data guru? What's the career path in data and being a data scientist or analyst? If we say it's the new oil and a lot of young people want to go there, can you just use the next 1 minute to tell us what's the career path and the opportunities in being a data scientist?
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. So for me, in the next couple of years, there will be a lot of information, a lot of thoughts around data, and it's just the next crude oil in the world. So there are a lot of opportunities. You can always define the part of data journey you want to tread. It could be data analytics, it could be data science, it could be data engineering, it could be machine learning researcher, and it could be a machine learning engineer. So you can always define which part you want to take. I think the simplest part that most people take is data analytics. If you are not really vast, maybe in statistics or mathematics, it could be easier for you to take the space of data analytics or business intelligence, as the case may be. But there's a bigger opportunity on this field, if I would answer that question.
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, it's 1 minute to 5 already, and I know to a large extent the commitment is to have you here for 1 hour on episode of TechBiz. Rashid Abdulkarim, we are more than grateful for the time you have spent with us, shedding light into how you can use data for decision making. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Rashid, and we look forward to having you the next time to still be able to shed more light on how we can use data. For everyone, Rashid is also a part of the Telegram. Should you have more questions you want to ask on the Telegram, my colleagues will have dropped the invite of how to join the Telegram into the chat box. Join us on our Telegram, ask your questions. You'll find Rashid there, attention him, and I can tell you that he'll be able to answer many more of the questions he's not been able to answer here. He'll be able to answer you on the Telegram. Again, the Telegram is how we how we stay connected with you in between the 1 week before we come back for another tech-based series. This is the 51 episode, and you have between now and Wednesday to ask questions, to continue to interact with our facilitators, with the community, so that we can grow together and sharpen each other. Do remember, again, I shared that we have plans to unveil the tech-based speech, and the tech-based speech is going to be a platform, a physical platform where we're going to be investors and startups, and we can be able to help you get investments into your startups, and you can be able to have a pitching platform where you can showcase all your work to the world, and you can be able to get the right kind of investment that can help you accelerate. Keep your eyes on that. I keep watching out for those space. Again, this is the 51 episodes. We've done quite a number of episodes on all kinds of topics we find quite relevant for anybody who is a startup in the ecosystem, employing innovation and technology as the core of what they do. Go again to our website, like I said, 51 episodes are there, www.ecoicenter.com/webinar. You go in there, my colleague also have dropped that link, and you'll be able to find all the 51 recordings, and do take time to go through it. And if there are questions, clarifications, feel free to join us on the Telegram, ask your questions, and we will be there to add significant value to you and be able to help you through the journey. We're happy to continuously bring you TechBiz series on this platform, and we promise to continue to do this in as much as to give us the opportunity to continue to add value to you. Again, I remain the host of TechBiz series. My name is Victor Benga-Folabi, the founder of Eco Innovation Center. Thanks for letting us be a part of your time and part of your life and bring value to you in your different places of work or wherever you might be today across the globe. And we look forward to having you again next week, which will be our 52nd edition, 1 full year of bringing Tech Biz to you every Thursday. And we can only promise there's going to be another exciting time where we bring to you another renowned expert in the world of technology to come and speak to us about the business of tech on our Tech Biz series. Do keep a date with us next week, Thursday again at 5 p.m. As we unveil who our speaker is and the topic. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of Tech Biz this evening. I look forward to having you again next week. I appreciate your time. Do have a restful evening and a great weekend ahead. Thank you, everyone, and bye-bye.